I trust me, Joe. Why are you looking at me? I got to eat my words. I get it. I totally get it. We're talking about Nolan Smith. We're talking about Quinyon Mitchell now in the lead for Defensive Rookie of the Year. And we're going to be talking about the Lions, the number one seed. The Lions dealing with a lot of injuries right now, even more. So we have to talk about that for where the Eagles are in this race right now for that number one seed. Still need to win the division. So let's get straight into all of it.
A killer buried, but not dead.
Darren, we better turn around. Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Yo, what is going on, guys? I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. So this video is sponsored by BetUS, so go check out BetUS if you haven't. But we have a lot to discuss. This is a good week. The Eagles are 12-2. The Eagles are rising, are just rising above right now. And this defense, what has been the major impact of this team? And really, as of recent years, we haven't had a defense like this. Good secondary, good linebackers, great safeties, and a defensive coordinator with really good positional coaches, a lot of experience. But I think the what is to talk about here is obviously Nolan Smith. Now, Nolan Smith went against Broderick Jones in this Steelers game at right tackle, okay? Broderick Jones going into this game, okay, only gave up 3 pressures, okay, on the year. And I'm telling you right now, add a few more pressures. Nolan Smith has given Broderick Jones the most pressure he has had this season at right tackle, and he was fantastic. Nolan Smith, there was one where he grabbed, he knocked over Darnell Washington and then took another hit and stayed there, which is, and keeping his ground. Like, this defensive line is immovable, and they're very disruptive in the backfield. And Nolan Smith, man, as undersized as he is, and obviously, even at Vic Fangio's press conference the other day, kind of saying, it's unusual that this could happen, but because Nolan Smith is embracing the challenge of being an edge rusher, and obviously, if you don't have the size at a position, what's the one thing you have to use that Nolan Smith does have? It's obviously technique. His bend around the edge is really good, but some of his bull rushes have been usually when he's bull rushing tackles early in the year, before the bye week, he wasn't going anywhere. Even in the offseason program when he was bull rushing, he wasn't going to do much because of his size. Locking up with tackles, you're not going to do much there, but it seems like he just knows how to throw his weight around pretty well. And I see that bend around the edge. I see where, because he's so athletic, he could bend so tight around tackles, get to the quarterback, or just be disruptive in general. Yeah, it's going to help somebody else on this defensive line, no doubt. And obviously not having Brandon Graham when he got hurt, it made all of us kind of worry about, what's really going to happen here, because Bryce Huff is still going to be out for a couple more weeks. And, Jalix Hunt is just starting to get more snaps, where Jalix Hunt had, I don't know what he did in this game, probably not much. We know what our DTs can do, and obviously edge has been really the big question. But I'm proud of Nolan Smith. 2023 is 2023, okay? I don't blame him for last year, okay? What I blame is the coaching staff, obviously not putting him in. Sean Desai didn't put him in the defense last season, barely played him last year. I know he dealt with an injury as well, but now he's really starting to catch on, really starting to. And it's really starting to pay off. He's got 4.5 sacks right now. Potentially he could have 8 sacks. He could maybe get double-digit sacks. It sounds absolutely nuts, absolutely crazy. And he faced a really good right tackle. But look at, he's putting his body low, and he's just bull rushing at this point, trying to get around the tackle. But he's like, you know what? I'm just going to drive this guy back and show him what I got. And it's helping everybody else. So I got to be really proud of Nolan Smith for what he did in this game. And I know the Panthers game, everybody disappeared, but when that defensive line as a rushing unit plays at the same momentum, because I think what they've been doing since post-bye week, and I think the rush has been a lot of these rushing lanes for quarterbacks haven't really been created. Look at that pocket kind of winding down, closing. It's almost perfect. I think as a unit, they're just getting so much better. And let me tell you, Nolan Smith, like another offseason, putting some weight on, drafting another edge rusher in the rotation. That's really good. I mean, I think sky's the limit going forward with the amount of youth you have in this building. Nolan Smith might be one of my new favorite players to this team because he's putting in the effort, he's putting in the work in the offseason, and he's not easily doubting himself. And once you start doing that, you're in a whole bit of trouble. So, really like the intensity from Nolan Smith, what's been going on with him, especially in this game. And, very proud of him for what he's done this season. And I'm glad the coaching staff, gave him a chance. And obviously, we weren't really good at didn't really have a lot of depth at defensive end. We didn't really have, we were kind of worried about what the edge rushing position was really going to look like. And I'm glad that he is building himself up now and just getting better every week. So that's a fantastic thing for him. Next, Quinyon Mitchell, I think is in the lead right now for defensive rookie in the year for Quinyon Mitchell, because I haven't read this in a while. Okay, he's only allowed 26. I think the most he's ever allowed in the game this season was 26 yards, okay? He's only allowed 152 yards this season, okay? He ranks second with forced 14 incompletions, okay? Fifth fewer in the league, and he is the leading case, I think, in front of Jared Verse, I think, by a lot, like minus 110 to minus 145 or something like that. So, really, I mean, Quinyon's been great. We know how he's been playing. And when you don't have to talk about a player most of the time, it's a really good thing when it comes to a defense like this. And he's had a fantastic rookie year, and definitely well deserved. No interceptions, unfortunately, for the season. That's really only his big downfall for not getting defensive rookie of the year, if that's going to be the case. But I'm very proud of him and what he's done. I think in other news too that I thought was really interesting is that if you guys notice in dime package now, Fangio does not use Avonte Maddox anymore. It's over. It's done. He now uses Isaiah Rodgers in dime package, as well as him being a backup corner. Obviously, the next backup corner, if a Quinyon injury appears or Darius Slay or something like that, where I think we have a good amount of trust on Isaiah Rodgers. He trusts Isaiah Rodgers' coverage, his instincts, and I'm really glad that Avonte Maddox is never going to play another snap in Philadelphia ever again. And you know what we have? Well, not never again, but you know what we have to do? We got to start ordering some Philly Shakedown merch. If you had it, we have hoodies, we have t-shirts, we have everything for the holiday season. Order fast, big sale, crew neck sweatshirts. We have these new DB Cooper hoodies and t-shirts. And definitely buy up. Shipping will be as fast as possible to get these really good designs to your loved ones for the holidays, which is fantastic. And make sure if you buy 2, you get 10% off. You buy 3, you get 15% off. You buy 4, you get 20% off. If you spend $150 or more, you get free shipping with your order. So order up some Philly Shakedown merch. Appreciate all the support. We really do appreciate it. Now, lastly on my list, okay, the Detroit Lions. Okay, this is going to be interesting. Now, since the Lions lost to the Bills 42-48, okay, now, coming out of that game, okay, they lost their starting defensive tackle. They lost, apparently David Montgomery is out for the year, okay? He's trying to get a second opinion on some surgery, trying to get a second opinion on, some type of way, since there's still enough time in the season, could David Montgomery come back? Obviously, Jahmyr Gibbs is in that backfield. I don't know what other running backs they have there. But they lost, I think, an outside corner. I know they lost a corner in that game. I don't know if he was on special teams or he was just a regular corner for this team, a DT, and David Montgomery seems to be done for the year. So they lose one of their big backs, okay? They're probably the better. I like him a lot better. I like David Montgomery a lot. So I think the Lions have like 17, 18, maybe even 19 players on injured reserve. Okay, we know that defense in Detroit is horrible. Okay, watching the Bills defense, blah. Watching the Detroit Lions, really ugly. Okay, we're waiting for Detroit to stumble one more game for the Eagles to take the number 1 seed, whether it's a rematch with the Bears, which is unlikely, but they kept it close on Thanksgiving last time. Bears kind of screwed up there, obviously, at the end of the game. and they still have the Minnesota Vikings on their schedule, okay? Because these injuries are going to keep happening, and they could run into some problems going. They still have a lot of games to play. They haven't locked up anything, so they have to play everybody. If they want that home field advantage, and, you know, with a lot of injuries like that, and trust me, like, not that they don't have a chance in the playoffs. I'm not saying that. The Eagles had a lot of injuries. The Eagles had a lot of injuries, 6, 7 injuries, major injuries going into, you know, the playoffs in 2017. But this is way different. This is like 18, 19 players on IR. It's just really insane. You know, the Vikes. So really, you're looking for the Detroit Lions to stumble one more game, and then obviously the Eagles will take the #1 seed. The problem is that if Minnesota beats them, they could be taking the lead for the #1 seed, and then they have to get beat. So realistically, like, as much as Detroit is a problem right now, and the Eagles are one step closer to that #1 seed, the Vikings are right behind. And you're waiting for them to at least lose a game if that's the case. So it would be nice in our you know, vision. It would be nice if they could lose against the Bears. That'd be great. And then the Minnesota win. I mean, I don't know, just something like that would be pretty cool. You know, but you know, if Detroit can beat Minnesota, then great. Then that would actually, if the Lions can get a loss before that Vikings game, that would be fantastic. Then Detroit beats the Vikings, maybe, and then, you know, the Eagles are going to have the NFC is running through Philadelphia, theoretically. So that's really, you know, I'm not really going, you know, the Eagles have the 2nd seed regardless. Okay. The Eagles have the 2nd seed. They will have a home playoff game in Philadelphia. Okay. But you'll have to go to Detroit, or whoever you're going to go to, you'll have to be away. Okay, it's understandable. I get it. You want the Lions to come to the link in cold weather, make them uncomfortable. I get all of that. It just might not happen that way. The Eagles have been a better road team this season than they have been at home, so I give them that. I feel like they are more focused when they are away, and, you know, they know how to shut a crowd up. So I have full faith in this team going on the road for a playoff game, if that's the case. Okay, so that's really the big step going forward. We still have to win the division. So you beat Washington, you're guaranteed the 2nd seed. And obviously, regardless, you're guaranteed the 2nd seed, but you win the division. So you have the playoff berth already there. You win the division next week. And then really, we have to see how things are going to happen down the road. The Lions are very hurt right now. Their offense can still run and get points, and without Dave Montgomery, they could still probably do a good job. Fantastic. But defensively, they're a mess. They are a huge pile of mess all around. You know what I mean? So you may think the Lions are the big threat right now, but, you know, the Vikings are right there behind them too. So if anything could work out, it's the Lions to lose early and stumble one more time, and then maybe get a win against the Vikings, and boom, the Eagles get that 1st seed pretty comfortably. But the Eagles have to keep winning regardless. So that's where I'm at. That's where we're at as a team right now, and that's pretty much about it. So let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about Nolan Smith and the season that he's had, and just what he did in that Steelers game, the Lions, and where we are right now. What do you guys think? How it's all going to end? Do you feel comfortable with the Eagles going on a road game for an NFC Championship game? And Quinyon Mitchell, obviously, you know, in the lead for Defensive Rookie of the Year. Hopefully could spice up with some picks later on in the season. That would be a fantastic thing. Appreciate everybody joining the video today. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for more Eagles news, and make sure you hit the like button because it does help the channel out tremendously. Thank you to everybody that's been watching and all the support, and I will see you guys on the next one. Shake squad up, fly outside. Peace out, guys. Peace.